Submission. It's one of the most misunderstood words in marriage. Now, some hear it and think oppression. Others think it means losing their voice. And in today's world, submission is almost a forbidden topic. But what if I told you that true biblical submission is actually one of the greatest strengths a wife can have? What if it's not about losing power, but about unlocking the power that God intended for your marriage? If you've ever wrestled with this idea, felt uncomfortable about it, or even rejected it completely, stay with me. Because today we are going to be breaking down what biblical submission really means, why it's not what culture tells you it is, and how it can transform your marriage in ways you never expected. And trust me, by the end of this video, you should have practical biblical steps that you can start implementing today. Hi, my name is Shay. I am a wife, mom of 3, and a faith-driven entrepreneur, passionate about helping busy moms like yourselves simplify your life, grow your business, and stay rooted in your God-given purpose. Now, what does the Bible actually say about submission? Because if we're going to talk about it, we need to go to the source. Ephesians 5:22 says, wives, submit to your husbands as to the Lord. Ephesians 5:25 says, husbands, love your wives, just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. Now, notice something here. Submission is not a one-sided command. Husbands are called to love their wives the way Christ loved the church, meaning sacrificially, selflessly, and unconditionally. Now, I once struggled with this concept of submission. In this world where women are taught to be independent, a boss lady, the head CEO of her life or her company, making my own money and being content with what I thought was a seemingly comfortable life. So, why would I need to submit to a husband. But over time in our marriage, through arguments, reconciliation, seeking wisdom from God's words, communication, and acts of love, guys, I realized submission wasn't about me keeping quiet or not having a voice in my marriage, but rather it was about trusting God's design for marriage and what he set it out to be and not what the world said it should be. And here is the key point that changed everything for me. Biblical submission is not about control. It's about alignment. So aligning my marriage under God's order so that my husband and I can work together as a team. Here's a question for you. What's one area in your marriage where you find it hard to trust your husband's leadership? And why? Is it finances, parenting, decision making? And if you don't quite feel ready to drop it in the comments below, send me a message. I would love to hear your thoughts. And if this topic is resonating with you, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button for more videos just like this. Now let's talk about how you actually apply this in real life. Now, because the theory is great, but if we don't know what to do with it, it's not going to change anything. I used to love watching ballroom dancing when I was younger, the fancy clothes and the way the dancers seem to just float on the dance floor. I want you to think of submission like that dance. There is a leader and there's a follower. Now, this isn't because, one is more important than the other, but because there's an order that allows the dance to flow gracefully. Now imagine 2 people trying to lead at the same time. It's highly likely going to be chaotic. But when each person plays their role, the dance becomes effortless and such a beautiful thing to watch. The first step is making sure your heart is aligned with God before anything else, because submission isn't about trusting your husband blindly as the world appears to push this narrative. It's actually about you trusting God first, because guys, when you're anchored in God, you can submit from a place of strength, not of fear. Step 2, submission does not mean silence. In fact, a godly wife brings wisdom to the table, but how you communicate matters. So instead of saying, we're doing it my way, try saying, I trust you to lead in this, and here's my perspective, because that shifts that conversation from control to partnership. Step 3, wives, your words have power. Instead of criticizing his leadership, I want you to affirm it. Even if he's not leading well yet, speak life into him. Tell him, I appreciate how you're handling this. Because when a man feels respected, he steps up. When he steps up, you feel safer to submit. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. You're thinking, but what if my husband isn't leading at all? What if he's making bad decisions? What if I just don't trust him yet? And here is where things start getting interesting, because biblical submission isn't about waiting for your husband to get it right first. It's about something much deeper, something that actually starts with you. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about in the next video. I'll see you then. Bye.